how to get a business loan without collateral and a monthly repayment up to 2 million plus. How about an unsecured term loan, a secured term loan, lines of credit, perhaps a cash advance, or an SBA Express / standard loan? Hi, this is Michael with Viral Funding Solutions. I will jump right into things. So I just recently went live on YouTube where I spoke about how to get a business loan without collateral and a monthly repayment structure. So if you guys want to refer to that, you guys can go to the bio, or if you're watching this later on YouTube, you guys can check that out. I'll probably leave information in the description. So what are the different options? What lenders will look at my file? What are they asking for? How does the underwriting work? What do I have to do in the application? There are so many questions to answer. Now, I want to begin at the very front of this and say there are multiple lenders out there who will give you funding, who are doing it on a monthly repayment, amortization, remittance schedule. But you have to have the right, what I call fundability details. That's your FICO, time in business, cash flow, industry type, and there's quite a bit more, but those are the main important ones. So what a monthly lender is looking for without collateral, this is not an SBA loan, by the way, I'll get to that in a moment. An unsecured term loan lender, they're looking at you having at least a 660 plus FICO credit score. So yes, it has to be up there. Not 650, not 640, 30, not 660 one day, and then the next day you're at 500. If you're fluctuating and you show a pattern of that, we can see that in the credit reports. Usually it's a soft pull, not a hard pull. So if we have to look at it even deeper, we will, and we'll get your consent to make sure we can do that. So 660 plus FICO credit score is what they will ask for the majority of it. And your credit is a predicament of how you are making your payments. Are you paying your bills on time? If you're not, what's happening? How many inquiries? Debt to income ratio, credit utilization. There's so much, many factors, judgments, bankruptcies, liens, anything open, UCC liens, what hasn't been removed, what you need to talk to the IRS about, what you need to go through credit repair, child support, legal issues. I've seen it all. I've been in this space for quite some time, and if I didn't say this, I'm an expert business loan broker who's helped out a lot of businesses of a lot of different backgrounds and industries with all types of services. And so 660, you want to have at least 2+ years in business. That's the requirement. You're going to see that with every monthly lender. And then you want to have at least, it can vary sometimes, where somebody will say at least 20,000 per month, but a majority will then say, let's do 25,000 per month you're depositing in your business checking account, or 300,000 in annual gross sales / revenue. Along with that, business credit. Do you have any? Is it established? How much of it? It's only with Dun & Bradstreet, but what about the other two credit bureaus? You just left them alone? Well, not all lenders will look at all three, but they want to make sure there's something built with all of them. Well, now, how much credit do you have? What's your paydex score at? If we do an assessment of FICO SPSS for an express loan, or it's not an express loan, and we're looking at a standard SBA 7A loan, what does that score tell us? Anything derogatory, anything negative trade lines reporting, any discrepancies that need to get fixed. So these are some of the things that the lender will look for on a monthly term. Let me say that again. 660 plus FICO is usually the barometer. You want to see 2+ years in business. That's what you'll see across the whole board. You want to be doing at least 25, if not 20,000 deposited, and 20,000 and 25,000 plus per month in revenue and sales, or 300,000 or 250,000. In some cases, you can do 250 to 300,000 and above in annual gross revenue, with no bankruptcies, no foreclosures, no liens, and within the last 3 years usually. So I have a few things that I want to go through. I put a document together, so I want to refer to that. But these are the, and before I go into it, I already made a video on this that I'll link you guys to in the YouTube channel. But normally you get approved between 10 to 15% of your annual gross sales, if not up to 20%. Usually it's between 10 to 15%. That's where most people go into, even if you have exceptional details because of the market. So if that's the case, think about it. If you're going to get approved for, you want 250,000, what should you be doing in annual sales, annual gross revenue? So you do that, 10% of that, is that close enough? If not to 250K, that's what you have to look at. So in this video, what I spoke about is the different types of unsecured term loan lenders. This is not an SBA Express loan, which I'll get into that in a moment. So there are things like no prepayment penalty, monthly payments, they are available. This reports to the business credit bureaus, 1 to 2 year term, sometimes 3 years, refinance up to 2 motion cash advances if you have them. Premium and platinum levels get it with stronger clients. So I already mentioned this, 2 years, 660 and above, 25,000 deposited, or 300,000 in annual gross sales, the bankruptcies, liens, foreclosures. And then trucking's a little bit different. That one you'd probably want to have more 5 years time in business. The rates, they're usually about 1 to 3% per month. Approvals are usually typically 100% of your monthly sales, and it can be higher or lower by 50% or so depending on factors such as credit score, industry type, time in business, debt, etc. Now, there's a lot more detail, but I already made a video on this. So the second unsecured business term loan option that you have, this one goes between 30K to 350,000. The other one, we could get you like somewhere between, I'd say 10,000 to 2 million. This one goes from 30K to 350K. So it's not like you'll qualify always for over 350,000. It might make more sense to go this direction. And I'll show you which one that is. But within 5 minutes, you can see if you are pre-qualified with a soft credit pull. Some of these benefits, it's unsecured financing, as you know. You don't have to offer up any collateral, no lien on your home or any property, no equity and liquidity. None of this has to be injected. 1 to 5 year terms. 1 to 2 years, what I want to make mention of is, when I say 1 to 5 years, most lenders in this market want to lend 1 to 2 years. So it's not surprising if you go into an unsecured term loan thinking that I want 3 to 5 years, but you don't get it. Instead, you got maybe 18 to 24 months. And if we push past 24 months, it's normally because the funds you're taking, they're used for equipment purchases, bigger equipment purchases, most necessarily. And then you have a longer term, higher financial return on that investment, if that makes sense. So if I'm making if I have products here and then I'm buying new inventory and I'm testing, and I also have a warehouse, I'm opening up a new location and I'm adding more square footage, and I'm buying a piece of equipment on top of that. Well, multiple uses makes more sense and it justifies that. But what is that return on your investment looking like? See, a lot of individuals want 3 to 5, 7 years, 10 years. So I'm going to jump into that in a moment. But 1 to 5 years unsecured is what you can look at. Usually 1 to 2 years is what lenders want to lend because they're taking 100% of the risk. They're not a bank. They're the ones saying, hey, I have money. I'm going to give it to you. Please get it back to me within 18 to 24 months. If not 2.5 years in some cases. Now, that's to mitigate risk. And you're already high risk, not offering up collateral, so they're trying to make their money back. So what's another thing to do if you qualify for 2+ years of a term? Let's say you saw you can qualify for 18 to 24 months, and I know you can qualify for 2+ years. Maybe an unsecured term loan isn't the way to go. Perhaps it's an SBA Express loan, which I'm going to jump into in a moment. So let me cover this, and then I will get into how do you get like between that 2 to 10 year term loan, working capital with an SBA loan. So you get low interest rates, monthly repayment, soft pull. All 50 states are eligible. Approvals are based on your overall yearly income. So that can mean your business and personal tax returns of 2 to 3 years. You have your year-to-date financials, profit and loss, perhaps a balance sheet. And that lender would then look at all those documents and make a decision based upon all of it. No prepayment penalties, early payment discounts. This one, pre-qualification, 2 years, 250,000 in annual revenue, credit score of 660 and above, soft credit pull for pre-qualification. Ownership, applicants must be U.S. citizens or residents. Business credit, you should have some established business credit put together, business credit profile. If you don't, then there are other alternatives like a cash advance, personal loan. But what you want to do is separate your business and personal. And if you don't have business credit established, there's a reason why you're only getting approved for other options. So no recent bankruptcies, tax liens, or judgments. Please establish your business credit with all 3 business credit bureaus. Time to fund, 1 to 2 weeks, because we have to look through more documentation. Interest rates, they range from 6% to 25% with early payment discounts. So the benefit, if you think about it, yeah, people want 6%, but in the market today where prime rates are 6.25%, does that actually mean you're going to get 6%? No, not even the best profiles, a lot of cases. So you're looking at more of a 9 to perhaps 15% more realistic, pushing it above up to 25%. So whether you get between that 9 to 15, 15 to 25% range, just think about the benefits. The benefit that you take that and you can use it and it'll grow and expand your business, as opposed to looking at the repayment or looking at the term, I should say, and solely that and the interest rate. It's more about the benefit. Term, yes, you want to get a longer one if you can initially and have a good repayment. And if you can't get that in the beginning, you make your way into that. So the documents that are required after pre-approval: 2 years of business and personal tax returns, 6 months of recent business bank statements, a business debt schedule, and year-to-date financial statements. And then there's another option, but that one's 2 to 10 years, and not a lot of lenders are doing that right now. So I would really not pay attention to that, and that's 25 to 50% interest. The reason it was so high of interest is because they were accepting individuals with a 500 FICO credit score with only 3 months in business, with about 20,000 per month, 240,000 overall per year. And that's why they gave you higher rates, because you can start off with bad credit and low time in business, but if you're generating that revenue and you have everything up to par, but not a lot of lenders are doing that as much anymore. It might come around later on. So there's also a bank term loan option that may ask for collateral, though that's a little bit different, but your choice of 2 to 3, 5 to 7 years. And then you have an SBA Express loan. And I was writing a few of that information, so I want to make sure that I turned this. Sorry, I did a live earlier and I'm kind of tired for the day, but I wanted to make sure you get this video. So there are some lenders out there who are willing to lend up from about $20,000 to $350,000 with an SBA Express loan. There are some other lenders who go up as far as $150K. So one of those lenders who's looking at getting you up to $150K, they want to see at least a 700 plus credit score, 2+ years in business. Like I said, $150,000. You want to have $150,000 in annual gross revenue. That can work, that and above. But a 700 plus FICO, 700 plus on consumer credit. They're going to look at your business credit, 2+ years in business. Of course, you don't want to have no foreclosure, no past bankruptcies, no open tax liens or open liens within the last 3 or so years. Sometimes they even go 5+ years, and they won't tolerate that. There are certain banks who look at it and go, we don't need to primarily go off of cash flow. So there's an advantage there. Now, if you're looking for more than $150,000, it's $150,000 to $350,000, and if we're still in the SBA Express loan, then your revenue should be coming up a little bit more. Usually SBA, and this is for like standard and SBA Express loans included, they want to see an annual revenue north of $400,000 per year, if not $500,000 plus per year. But with certain banks, certain SBA Express loans, they're looking at, let's say, $150,000 to $250,000 in annual gross revenue to get you in the door. But you have to have strong credit at a 700. You don't need collateral for this one. So the 3 don't need collateral for this one. So the 3, but you have to have strong credit at a 700. You don't need collateral for this one. So the 3, well, to some degree, yes, cash flow does matter. But when you're looking up to only $150,000, cash flow may not be as significant. And we'll look at other components of the business. But if you're doing that, okay. Now credit, For this one, we want to see at least a 700 plus and above in credit. Now, there are other entry points that I want to address, but first of all, the rates on those, you're looking at about prime rate 6.25 plus 3.75%, I should say. So at a minimum, maybe 10%. At a maximum, 10.5, 11, 10 to 12%. I've even seen it go up there, especially with them being more variable interest, not so much fixed right now, over 90% of them in this market, because they just change from time to time. And then you can get up to 10 years in working capital. So yeah, you could hit that 10-year just with an SBA Express loan. You can hit 2 to 3, 5 to 7 with an Express loan. So everybody's in a different situation. You may want more than 150K, but not more than 350K. So you still want an Express loan. And at that point, you may have to have a little bit more in revenue. And what we're looking at is proper cash flow. We're looking at a little bit more of your profitability of the business. Should be profitable regardless of any kind of SBA loan. Are you profitable in your business? Do you have at least 2 years plus worth of profitability? How recent is it? We want to look at the most recent out of the last 3, and then we base it off of that. Year-to-date financials. Are you operating at a loss? What is going on here? But when you're looking at some of these Express loans, you're not looking at collateralizing it. Sometimes the cash flow isn't as significant, but most importantly would be the credit component, in that your annual revenue is where it needs to be. Yeah, okay. So I made sure I covered all that. New lenders, new providers are rising, so I'll always keep you guys up to date. Sometimes too, and I have my document here that I want to make sure I refer to, that I created. Even at that Express loan range, where you can get up to 150,000, another lender, or if you're looking for more than 150K, which a lot of people end up looking for anyways, then at that point, we're going to need a little bit more in monthly revenue. Instead of the 150,000 range, we're going to need at least 25,000 deposited into your business checking account, or in other words, about 25,000 in monthly revenue / sales, which comes to be about 300,000 in annual gross revenue. So that's what we're looking for to some degree when we're going even higher than 150,000 in a lot of cases. But what applies to it is a 2 years time in business. We can have more flexibility with your credit score. Instead of saying, well, at 150K, you have to have a 700 credit. In this case, we can say, hey, well, even at that, I can get in with the 660. So there's the advantage. Business credit, you want to have that. No bankruptcies, liens, foreclosures in the last 3 years. So that's where I'm going to leave it at. If anybody has any questions, please feel free. But I will get going in a little bit. I'm pretty tired. So about another minute and then I will get going. Okay, no questions. I know this is spontaneous, so I didn't expect anybody to. But just to recap, you know the unsecured term loan options, more or less. The video, I'll link you guys to down below in the description and or in the bio. You heard about the term loan options more than you did the line of credit, but those can be available. You have the SBA Express, SBA Standard Loan, and quite a few other alternatives like traditional equipment financing. Perhaps you're looking at 0% interest for 6 to 18 months with credit line hybrid, credit card stacking, and there are plenty in between. So that's what I will leave you guys with. Please refer to the bio for all information. Look down below in the description if you're watching this later on YouTube. And for any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave them for me. Look in the description again for all information. You guys need help with it, I'll all be there. If there's a topic you guys need me to cover, please let me know. And that's how I will conclude. Take care.